Hi everyone, this is Jean from Happy Indulgence. I'm here for my September recap, recapping the 4 books that I read this month and what happened during September. So for those of you guys who read my blog, you'll know that I got the chance to interview Cassandra Clare and Holly Black at the Brisbane Writers Festival. That was a really amazing experience. It was just a lot of fun. I was just so nervous going in, but they were really lovely, really supportive. It was great getting their insight on, writing together and Holly and Cassie's trip in Australia. And on the following day, we got the chance to just chat with Holly for about 20 minutes, and she was just so lovely. And it was great meeting a lot of other bloggers as well. During September, I struggled to keep up with the blog. It was just a really busy time at work, and there's lots happening at the moment. I'm house hunting. It looks like everyone else is in a blogging slump as well. So, just the end of the year, things are getting a bit busier. But, no fear. I'm here for my recap of the books I read this month. And basically it was hilarious because last month I'm like, yep, I'm going to read these 12 books. I only read 4 books this month. Most of them were actually really good, which I was really lucky with. I rated all of them 4 stars, except for Armada, which I gave 3 stars. So my favourite book of the month is Ink and Bone by Rachel Caine. I originally gave this 4 stars, but then I moved it up to 4.5. Basically, it's about the Great Library of Alexandria and how it controls all its citizens by hoarding all the knowledge. It's a bit like The Book Thief, how no one is allowed to own a book, and in order to own a book, you have to steal it. And Jess Brightwell, he's a smuggler for his family, and he gets inducted into a trial of other students. And they're basically undergoing a trial to see who's the better librarian. They're shipped off to Alexandria in Egypt, and all the students, they're just really diverse, and there's just so many fantastic elements in this book. There's steampunk, there's history, there's fantasy. It's set in London, and it talks about, London libraries and settings, and London and Wales are in a war over the knowledge that they have to hoard. And I think this book is fantastic if you're a book lover, and of course you are. It does get a bit heavy and complex on the world building at times, but it's just really fantastic what Rachel Caine has been able to do with this book and make such a believable world set over the corruption of knowledge. And I thought that was really fantastic, and I gave this 4.5 stars. The next book I read is The Mime Order. The Mime Order was a really fantastic follow-up to the first book. Now, I love the Bone season. I gave it 5 stars, but, the info dumping and the different terminology that was used was actually difficult to grasp my head around. And I went back and read my Bone season review, and there I was like, oh, it would be great to see the other clairvoyance and the Greater London beyond Paige and her dream walking. In The Mime Order, that's actually what happens. Paige escapes Shoal Eye, which is the prison that she was in, and here she's working for her mime lord, which is Jackson. And Jackson is such a hilarious character. He's flamboyant, he loves quail eggs, but he's a real asshole as well. And it was just interesting seeing the power struggle between Jackson and Paige, and she just develops so much in this book. And the clairvoyance, the different world of London that's ruled by an underworld of people with hidden powers. It's just really fantastic. And I gave this 4 stars, even though I think it was better than the Bone season. I think the world building was also really heavy at times, which made the plot really slow. The world is really, really believable, and just the detail in this book is really complex and really amazing, but it takes a while to ramp up in plot-wise, but it does get super, super epic later on in the book, and I really love the Mime Order, and I think you guys should read it too, especially if you love fantasy reads. I also read Legacy of Kings, and this one features over 6 point of views. That might have been a bit much for those of you who don't like multiple point of views, but I actually really enjoyed it. It's basically another history fantasy book. It's about Alexander the Great, but there hasn't been that much history about him when he was young. So an actual historian wrote this and reimagined his world when he was 16, and a few other believable characters as well in that time period. And what I loved about this book is just how lush the setting was and how believable it was, from what they wore to the food and the setting. I could really picture it in my head, and it would make a great movie. So some of the characters here are fictional and others are real, like Alexander and his best friend Hef. I can't pronounce the rest of his name. There was also a Persian princess, and it was interesting seeing her point of view of Persia as well, and I just really liked this time period and the characters. I rated this one 4 stars, and if you like ancient Greek and ancient history, I think you'd like this book as well. The other book I had to return to the library, but it was probably the most disappointing book that I've read this month, and that was Armada. I absolutely loved Ready Player One. The virtual reality in it was amazing, and the ode to gaming and 80s pop culture. Armada was so disappointing, especially in comparison to Ready Player One. Basically, it's set in a sci-fi world with a space adventure and, the defense against an alien invasion. Armada was disappointing because of how many gaming references and movie and other references it just shoved into the book and used it and relied on it for world building and character development. For example, instead of describing what characters look like, the author actually, relies on calling one just, a Rocky Balboa lookalike or a Luke Skywalker lookalike, and that just permeated throughout the whole book. Like, I'm a sci-fi geek as well. I love Star Wars, I love space sims, I love space games, but even I struggled with it. For example, when they're describing the spaceships and stuff, they're just like, oh yeah, these spaceships are made up of a fleet of X-Wing or the Y-Wing, and that's what it looked like. And then moving on, and that's pretty much what it was like throughout the whole book. Now, it did have its good points, and it was a lot of fun because I just love Ernest Cline's writing. Overall, I don't want anyone to be put off Ready Player One because of Armada. I ended up giving it 3 stars. I mean, it wasn't all bad. I did enjoy it. I did like the setting. I did like the alien invasions. So Armada was my least favorite book this month. Now, before I finish up, I wanted to show you guys my TBR for October. At the moment, I'm reading Magnus Chase. The first book is called The Sword of Summer by Rick Riordan, and this is his new series, which is based on Norse mythology, and at the moment it's so fantastic, it's hilarious. Like, I laugh out loud at all of the descriptions, and Thor, Loki, Vikings, Valkyries. It's set in that sort of world, and I haven't read a Rick Riordan book for a while, and I really love this one. It's so much fun. I'll also read Firewalker. Not sure I'm a big fan of the new cover. It doesn't even match my other one. But I really loved Trials by Fire. The time travel and alternate dimensions in it was fantastic, so I'm looking forward to the sequel. I haven't heard much about this one yet. I'll also read Reawakened. I love the ancient Egypt history, and knowing that there's an Egyptian prince in this one, and the setting just... yeah, I'm really excited to read that. I'll also read 1,000 Nights, which is a bit like The Wrath and the Dawn. I haven't heard the best things about it. I heard the setting isn't done too well, but I think I'll give it a shot. And because it's spring now, Second Chance Summer by Morgan Matson. I love Since You're Been Gone, which was a really great friendship list book, and I'm looking forward to this one, which is about conjoined twins. I've heard that this one's pretty emotional and there'll be a good balance as well with the rest of my fantasy reads. So those are the books that I'm going to read this month, and I'll let you guys know what I think either in the video next month or on the blog as well. Thanks guys for watching, and if you enjoyed it, please give me a thumbs up, and I'll see you guys next time. See ya, bye!